Hey, what's up, guys? So you probably stumbled across this video looking for information on the Aero Precision SOLUS rifle that's out. There's been a lot of questions that I've been receiving in regards to this rifle and wanting information on it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing a lot of your YouTube followers, fan favorites that are going to be doing videos on this if they haven't already. And I decided I kind of want to bring you guys something a little bit different than what I suspect most of them are going to be doing, which is probably going to be a generic long video of a general overview of the rifle, if you will. I kind of wanted to take you guys on a journey with me here and do a video series on this. So this is going to be video one, just my initial impressions of the rifle, things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and how's it performing so far out of the box without cleaning it or even so much as oiling the gun, as far as the action goes. So I haven't done anything to the gun. What are my initial impressions? And that's going to be video one here. My plan is to drop a video for you guys periodically showing different aspects and specific regards to the rifle that I'm working on in that aspect. So like, I'm going to take you guys through like ammo testing. Once I get this barrel officially settled in, ideally around the 100 round mark. I only have 65 rounds down the tube so far, not including the 5 that they shoot at the factory to test it. I'm going to put you guys through our modern day sniper qualification. I'm going to do some positional stuff, and I'm hoping to teach a class with this in the near future, and ideally also a local competition as well. So if you guys are looking for just a general video to go over this might not be the one for you. This is going to be more of a video series that I want to bring you guys on so we can figure this out together on who this rifle's really for. And what I mean by that is, who is the ideal consumer and customer for this rifle? Because to my understanding, this is Aero Precision's first bolt-action rifle. And as most of you guys probably already know, they've been doing a lot of what I think most people would say budget-friendly AR platforms. And so it's interesting to see them get into this, and let's see how they do on it. So full disclosure, what's my relationship with Aero Precision? Don't really have one. I just, I have a mutual follower on Instagram. He works there. He wanted to send this to me to get in my hands and try out because I've been getting a lot of questions about this rifle. He did send this to me for free and also to keep. So full disclosure there. That does not mean that I'm not going to be honest about my opinions with this. And I told him that as well if I do the video series on it. So the suppressor and the bipods are mine. I purchased those. Optic I'm borrowing from a friend. Everything else was sent to me. So the rifle, I believe, goes for on their website around $21.49. It does not include the spigot and the night vision bridge mount that you see here. He threw those in as well for free. Again, the optic is a Leupold Mark V that I'm borrowing from a friend. I wanted to put, most people would be like, well, why don't you put a budget optic on here to kind of test out to see if this is what most people would consider a budget rifle anyways. But I wanted to take out the factor of the optical device being a weak point, and I just wanted to put what I think is a really good optic, the Leupold Mark V, on here and run it with that. Now, this is the 6.5 Creedmoor. It's a 22-inch barrel, 1 1/8 twist. I believe it's a Sendero profile. But let's talk about what I like about the rifle, just my initial impressions here of it. I'm going to get into the groups that I was getting with it, but first, out of the box, like, how does it feel? What is it like to shoot it? That's kind of what I think a lot of you guys care about. So I'm really impressed with the attention and detail that they put into this, especially for their first precision rifle bolt gun, if you will, that they're getting into. They're doing things that, to be frank, not a lot of manufacturers that have been in the game are even doing. So I like the aspect of this forend that they're using on this chassis with integral ARCA rail. So I can slide my bipods or any other accessories that I might have, or bag riders, whatever the case is that you want to use, I can slide this up and down the rail. It has an abundant amount of QD attachment points if you choose to run a sling. I wish that the forend enclosed the barrel. So with support shooting or positional shooting, and you have your support hand on the forend, for instance, I don't want to be contacting the barrel, but you can place this night vision rail, and depending on your hand length and your length of pull, or your arm length, I should say, you could flip this night vision rail backwards, and it's a little longer here, so it could give you a point for your thumb depending on your ergonomics and the length of your arm. So it's not the end of the world. You can definitely accomplish it with that. Let's talk about the action, though. I think that's kind of the heart of the system and where they're really shining. This is a 60-degree throw on the bolt that they have here, 60 degrees. It's pretty smooth out of the box. Like I said, I haven't even cleaned this. I haven't even so much as thrown grease or oil on the lugs or anything. I just took it out of the box and been running with it since. So 60-degree throw. The bolt head is interchangeable. So I know they have a 6.5 PRC that is coming out, to my understanding. So I can quickly just change the bolt face out to a Magnum bolt face, but still run the same action. And now I have a short action Magnum cartridge capability in the same system. I don't need to buy a whole other action. It is based off of a Remington 700 footprint. So if you chose to change out the chassis down the road, you have so much aftermarket support because that's pretty much the standard as the Remington 700 footprint. And here's a nice touch right here. Integral recoil lug and integral 20 MOA Picatinny rail. That's going to save you elevation in your optic when zeroing the gun, so you have more reserve elevation to dial on for targets at distance. But not a lot of companies are doing integral. Well, a lot of them are, but there's a lot that actually aren't. And are you going to see issues? Maybe not. I have seen issues with them not being integral. Definitely have seen that. But they went ahead and just played it safe and like, you know what, we're going to make it all integral. So it's the recoil lug and the Picatinny rail are machined all out of the same piece of metal that they're using. You don't have to worry about that becoming a failure point. Now, the bolt face also has dual ejectors, so they kind of went overkill there to make sure that you have reliability on the ejection, so you're not going to run into issues there, or you shouldn't at least. But those are some really nice touches, and probably one of my favorite touches of the rifle, to be honest, with that action, is the fact that it can accept the Accuracy International AW magazines, the Arctic Warfare mags. For those that don't know, in my opinion, this is probably the best mags for precision rifle shooting, in my opinion at least. It's a double stack 10 rounder, and you only have the friction of one feed lip at a time on it as you're feeding the rifle, so it definitely has a smoother feel to it. The action itself is pretty smooth for what most people would consider a budget build rifle. Again, that's subjective, and we're going to see if that's actually what this rifle is designed for the budget user in mind, or could it compete with the high-end rifles? But again, haven't done anything to this, but I find the action to be pretty smooth, to be honest. I don't like the magazines that are included. It's just the Magpul AICS 10 rounders. I really don't like these mags, but it's not a big deal. It can take any AICS one, so you can get the Accuracy International or Accurate mags. Any AICS pattern, grab the metal ones, the 5 rounders, the 10 rounders. It'll take it. The mag releases ambi, so right or left side, you can disengage it. But like I said, the AW mags, cut for them, and it'll take them. And in the event that you have a mag that's maybe slightly out of spec or different spec than the other mag, the PMag that it came with, you can adjust the mag catch so you don't have feeding issues with the mags that you choose to go with. Honestly, one of my favorite features of this, because in my opinion, I'm not buying an action in 2023 if I can't run an AW mag. That's just me. You guys do what you want to do, but that's a must for me. Chassis feels good. It's well balanced. It's not that heavy, honestly. I haven't weighed it, but it's definitely lighter than my Accuracy International rifle. They don't have a folding adapter yet, but to my understanding, they are coming out with one. And another thing in 2023, in my opinion, has to have a folder. And it's not for like Jason Bourne stuff. That's just for the aspect of packing it out in a Pelican case. So if I'm traveling all the time teaching at different venues around the country, I just want simplicity to be able to bring a smaller Pelican case or throw it in the back seat or whatever the case may be. It's just for transportation purposes. Quick adjust on the cheek piece and length of pull. So that's very nice. You don't need tools to loosen it up, pop it out, put spacers in, none of that. So it's quick adjust, and there's markers on here so you know what your reference point is. I'm not trying to give you guys like a spec sheet, but I really want to touch on the points that really stood out to me as the shooter, and things that, in my opinion, in the years of doing this, things that other manufacturers aren't even doing. So I like the aspect that it already comes with the Trigger Tech trigger as well. It is a single stage. In my opinion, it was a little too heavy as it came, but they're super easy to adjust with just an Allen key. And so I lightened it a little bit. A nice attention to detail there is they cut out the bottom of the trigger guard that you should hopefully be able to see there, and it gives you access to the Allen key to lighten the trigger without even having to take the barreled action out of the chassis. And the only other thing I did besides that and setting up the length of pull and eye relief and cheek height for me is I adjusted this adjustable thumb shelf. So that's really nice. There's not a lot of companies that are doing that. And so I moved it back a little bit to fit my hands. Really big fan of that. For those of you guys that are familiar with Aero, you know that they're mainly known for AR-15s. So if you have a lot of AR-15 parts laying around, as long as the grip is tangless, it can take any AR-15 grip and you can slap it on for whatever your choosing may be. I'm not sure if proof barrels or the prefits are out yet, but I believe they are coming out if they're not already out. But they are already accepting Zermatt origin prefits. But this is just a ballistic advantage that it came with. They guarantee sub-minute. And I'll pop up some groupings here. You'll see the first 2 5-round groups that I did out of this gun with factory Hornady 140 ELD match ammo. Those were the very first 2 5-round groups, and it performed as they advertised. And to me, the biggest con with this rifle is going to be the fact that it's not a quick change barrel assembly. That's definitely something that I look for. Is it going to be the end-all be-all that makes you want to buy the rifle or not? Maybe not. I don't know if I'd say that that's the deciding factor for me, but it's definitely nice not needing to use a vise and an action wrench to change barrels out, and just having a single screw that you can loosen, unscrew the barrel, reinsert a new one, and tighten the screw back down. Like I said earlier, I have about 65 rounds down this gun so far, not including the 5 that they shot from factory. And pretty much every group I've fired has been right around that 1 minute or less, which they've guaranteed. But I'm not going to give a final verdict on the grouping of the gun until, at least with a 6.5 Creedmoor, which this is, until around that ideally 100 roundish mark. And then I'll clean it, give it a deep clean, bring it back to bare metal, foul it, and then begin an ammo test, which you guys are going to see probably in the next video, and where we're at and standing with that. But they guarantee sub-minute precision with it. Precision, not accuracy. Precision's the measure of the group sizes. And so that's what they're guaranteeing, and so far that's what I've been seeing, but we'll find out. So you guys saw the groupings already. Those were the 2 5 rounds, the very first 2 that I did. The next 5 that I did after that were just shooting at distance to get a feel for it, and then from up to where I am now, from round 15 to 65, it's just been shooting some distance, getting a feel for it, kind of trying a little bit different ammo. I shot some burgers with it as well, and a couple rounds of some Sacco, but we're going to do some more testing once this barrel settles in. But yeah, honestly, my overall opinion for my initial impression is that I think they put a lot of attention to detail for the price point. Now, I don't know for sure, but if I were to guess, and no one said this to me, but this is my opinion, I think this is supposed to kind of go against the Seekins hit line, the Daniel Defense Delta 5. This is not going to be a comparison video series, but I think, in my opinion, that this is probably where they're trying to hit the market at in that price point for competition-wise. But again, that's my own opinion. No one told me that. So with that being said, hope you guys got a kick out of this video. If you guys were just looking for an overview and just a down and dirty, this is it. Probably not the one for you, but from here on out, we're going to go down this journey together, and we're going to figure out, is this rifle a real contender? Is it something that you should consider as a first-time precision rifle buyer? Maybe it's something that you're an experienced precision rifle shooter and you want another solid rifle. Is this it? Maybe, maybe not. Let's find out on this together, but hope you guys enjoyed that, and stay tuned for the next video, guys.